Hey everyone, it's Warlord with my day 17 entry into Warbosstae's July painting challenge. I misspoke in my last video. I said that one was day 17, but it was actually day 16. Yet again, just because of work and whatnot, I got behind on my videos, so I got a little off there. So I'll actually be doing yet again. I know this is starting to kind of seem like cheating, but I'll be doing my day 17 and 18 videos in succession. So I'll probably do my day 18 later in the day just in case, maybe I do actually get something done. But as far as painting, uh, all I've really gotten done is starting to do the wings now, getting that skin highlighted. I got, more of it done on the back. Uh, the brush I've been using to do kind of work like this, it's been starting to get tedious. I've had it for like a couple of years now. It was kind of a cheapish synthetic brush, and it did kind of fall apart really quickly when I first got it, but then using some of a master's brush cleaner, I was able to restore it enough to it could do work, not necessarily work that you would do with a brush the size it claimed to be, but because it kind of fattened out, um, it ended up being a good brush for doing work like this, but it's really losing its tip now. Uh, I had issues for it with while curling at the tip, and I finally got it to stop curling at the tip, but at the expense of it now the brush is more of a flat rather than a round. So yesterday when I was in town, which was also when I was recording my last video, I forgot to show this, but I picked up a few art supplies. So I got a Winsor Newton Cotman size 0. Now these are synthetic brushes still, which the first time I bought a Cotman, which was uh, a 4.0, I actually was hoping to get a 3.0, but it was either a 4.0 or a 0, and at the time when I got this up, I didn't quite understand, the science behind brushes, and it's been holding up pretty good. So it's not the cheapest synthetic, but at the end of the day, it's still synthetic. But I'm hoping I can replace the brush I was using to do some of this skin work up here, and that this will do pretty well. I also picked up a can of Tester's clear coat. According to this label, it's Dull Coat. So it's a matte varnish. Um, I've been using that Krylon's Artist matte spray. And for the most part, it works pretty well. But I've been noticing after sometime the first can after I used quite a bit of it, and I didn't have too much left in the can, I started noticing it wasn't really giving a good matte coating. I mean, when I first used the can, and if I applied it over like a metallic surface, it almost looked like at the end of the day I did a non-metallic metal style because it just grayed it so much. And then as time went on, the can I started getting less of a matte finish, and the model actually started to seem more reflective, almost like I was applying a satin varnish. Which, I mean, I'm not 100% sure if even with matte varnish, if you still get that you're supposed to still get that slightly reflective spray, or sorry, slightly reflective spin finish. Oh wow, I'm really having trouble speaking today. Um, but I got another can, and same deal. The first time I used it, it gave a nice matte finish. Um, but after like the second use, it went back to that, more of a reflective finish as opposed to matte, almost more towards the reflective extreme. The first time I used it, uh, it wasn't quite as extreme as making my metallics look incredibly gray, which was good because I don't want that, but I still want that kind of dull finish. And Testers seems to be a brand in the U.S. that's always getting decent recommendations. Now with any varnish, there's more horror stories than, positive stories, because, you're not going to go online like, hey, I bought a can of spray varnish and it was cool. If you're going to post something, usually people post, oh, my models look like they're covered in pixie dust now. That, or somebody's asking for recommendations, they might mention, hey, Testers is pretty good, but then someone's going to come in and say, I had this bad experience with Testers. But what really drew me to it was the fact that living in Michigan, it's just constant, humid, weird weather 24/7, and it makes varnishing somewhat of a nightmare unless you have an airbrush, which I don't have one. And I've seen a couple guys recommend testers living in, those weird, humid type environments that usually it performs quite well. And one guy actually going to the extreme, mentioning that, in the winter, in really cold weather, he was still varnishing outside, which, I probably won't try to test those extremes out, but, once it gets cold, it would be nice to still be able to varnish some of my models. So, I'll give this a test. I have a converted Renegade, uh, what is this word? Or yeah, converted Renegade Guardsman, who I tested my gloss varnish on. So I think I'm gonna go paint one of his blades metallic swall shot highlights so we have some contrast across it, and then give it a spray of this and see, how matte of a covering it gives. If I get fairy dust, pixie dust, whatever you want to call it, and just go from there. So yeah, this was kind of a long post, but I didn't get much sleep last night because reasons I'll probably show you in my next video. So leave any comments or suggestions, and hopefully I'll see you there.